The clash at the Greek-Turkish border is escalating. We're going to take a look at the latest developments that are going on with the tens of thousands of migrants amassing at Greece's border and how Greek border guards continue to heroically hold the line for all of Europe. Stay tuned. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. It's great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here, I post 2 videos a day analyzing current events in light of super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'll be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel where we together each and every day get to celebrate the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Now, before we get into the very serious escalations at the Greek-Turkish border, make sure to download your free gift, which we put together just for you. We are calling it our fake news antidote. It is a compilation of about 20, it's actually more than 20 sites that I go to for my news each and every day. And you can download it completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section. I think you're going to really enjoy that resource and use it on a daily basis. And finally, many health experts now agree that consuming collagen is as crucial as it gets to renew and revitalize how you look and feel. It's really being touted as the greatest supplement to ever hit the market. It can do wonders for reducing wrinkles and strengthening hair and nails, supporting healthy pain-free joints, reducing cellulite, and even boosting metabolism and dropping those unwanted pounds. That's a good thing. I encourage you to watch the free video at my site, healthwithsteveturley.com, or simply click on the link below to learn about how to go about choosing the right collagen for you and the proper way to use it. That is healthwithsteveturley.com. All right, so let's dive in here. The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has left talks with representatives from the EU without a deal reached on stopping the tens of thousands of Middle Eastern and Northern African migrants who are actively attempting to invade Greece at the behest of the Turkish government. It's pretty clear, at least to me, that Erdogan is holding out for more money from the EU at this point. He wants to milk this so-called refugee crisis that he manufactured for all it's worth so he can blackmail Brussels and get as much money as he can. Now, we've devoted several other videos to this, but in a nutshell, President Erdogan of Turkey has betrayed the 2016 treaty that he signed preventing migrants from Northern Africa and the Middle East from passing through Turkey into Europe, primarily through Greece and Bulgaria. This was in response to the massive flood of so-called refugees that took place in 2015. It totaled over 1 million migrants that spread across Europe in a single year. Erdogan has been humiliated of late in the Syrian conflict. He's clearly blackmailing Europe to give him more money, more billions to handle the migrant situation in Turkey. He wants the EU to back him up in his efforts in the Syrian conflict. And so he's ripped up the 2016 migrant agreement. We like to say he pulled a Nancy the Ripper Pelosi. He tore up the agreement and has opened up the floodgates to let out all of these illegal immigrants into, well, primarily Greece. And so Erdogan has officially weaponized migrants. That's the way the Hill put it. Well, kind of. They said that Turkey is weaponizing refugees, which is not altogether accurate. More on that in a moment, but we do have arrest statistics that show that among the migrants that have been arrested, less than 5% are actually Syrian. But it is true that Erdogan has clearly weaponized these migrants, opening up the floodgates, as it were. Now, that's being somewhat generous to say that he's opened up the floodgates. He hasn't merely done that. We have video and eyewitness reports that Erdogan is actually coordinating the migrant invasion and getting them to board buses and driving them by the thousands up to the border with Greece. There are reports that Turkish forces are actually firing tear gas over the border against Greek security forces to make their lives even more miserable as they try, however valiantly, to hold the line there. Now, Perhaps the biggest joke in all of this, really in many respects, is this is all you need to know about the whole situation if you want to understand it, is that the Turkish President Erdogan has, as of today, actually accused, I kid you not, he's actually accused Greek security forces of behaving like Nazis for using force against the tens of thousands of migrants trying to illegally cross the border from Turkey into Greece. Reuters is reporting that Erdogan, who has been deliberately busing Afghan and Iraqi and Syrian migrants up to the Greek border and dumping them off there, whose own security force have been firing freaking tear gas canisters over to the Greek security forces, he's actually has the gall to say that there was no difference between what Greek border guards are doing and what the Nazis did. Erdogan is claiming that Greek forces have opened fire on these poor innocent people, which is not true, while exposing them all kinds of inhumane treatments. It's barbarism in the full sense of the word, was his phrase that he used. Now, if this isn't evidence that Erdogan is a psychopath, I simply don't know what could be. He's accusing the Greek forces of precisely what he himself is doing. He's projected on them his own sins, as it were, which is the classical characteristic of a bona fide psychopath. So, as far as Greek officials are concerned, they responded to Erdogan's hyperbolic absurdities by pointing out very simply that they've made quite clear to Turkey that Greece has a front door and they have a window, okay? They do not allow anyone to climb through their windows. They have to use the front door. If anyone wants to be entitled to the full protection of the Greek government, they have to knock on the door. There needs to be a certain level of civility here. Otherwise, they are going to be subject to standard but resolute and uncompromisable security protocols. On another front, it's being reported that one of the Greek Coast Guard's vessels was deliberately rammed by a Turkish Coast Guard speedboat. Apparently what happened is this Turkish vessel approached the Greek boat at high speed, smacked right into the Greek Coast Guard vessel, and the Turkish government has yet to respond to this very clear provocation. In the meantime, Greek forces continue to valiantly hold the line, defending their border against these so-called refugees. By the way, no single Greek person on the planet is buying that, and only the most far left-wing radical European is buying that. Everyone else recognizes these are not refugees. These are not families from war-torn Syria looking for a safe haven. As I mentioned earlier, among the arrests made at the border, less than 5% were actually Syrian from a war-torn nation. The official government statistics coming from the front lines indicate that only 4% of those arrested were Syrians. A whopping 64% were from Afghanistan. Now think about that. 64% from Afghanistan. 19% were from Pakistan. And then you had a collection of, under 5% migrants from Somalia and Iraq, Iran, Ethiopia, and the like. And that whole number, only 4% were from Syria. So don't buy this notion that these are refugees. This is a manufactured migrant dump, as it were, where Erdogan is trying to rid his nation of these unwanteds. Very, very similar to what Castro used to do when he would clean out Cuba's unwanteds. He'd clean out Cuba's prisons and the like and put them on boats and send them over to the Florida coast. That's basically, in a nutshell, what Erdogan is doing here. And so, needless to say, the tensions are mounting at the Greek-Turkish border, and we'll certainly be keeping our eyes on how things develop there, no question, each and every week. We're not going to let this go. Now, before you go, you'll definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded. On the latest round of primaries here in the States, Trump is smashing voter turnout records like never before, all the while Sanders' socialist revolution has imploded. You're going to absolutely love it, so make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.